All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the red-hot Denver Broncos, folks. They are aiming for their fifth straight win for the first time since the 2015 season, where they started 7-0. Here's some fun facts about Russell Wilson on the season. He's currently tied for third with touchdown passes, 19. By the way, he only has 4 interceptions. That is the best touchdown to interception ratio in the league. And he also leads the league in both game-winning drives and fourth quarter comebacks. So the Denver Broncos are back. After starting 1-5, after giving up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins, they have now rattled off 4 straight wins. They just beat a red-hot Minnesota Vikings team. They took down 2 Super Bowl contenders and last year's Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. And here's the thing that I love with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson right now, but more specifically during this month win streak right now. The last couple seasons, they just didn't really close out games. And that's what Sean Payton is changing. Keep in mind, he had to change the entire culture. We saw it in the offseason. People were calling him crazy for it. But keep in mind, guys, the Broncos literally had to hire a time manager because their coach was not competent in that realm. And honestly, to me, it really feels like this offense is about to break out. So before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Broncos fans, we are so back. If we could try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So like 16 hours from now, the Denver Broncos at home take on a Deshaun Watson-less, but one of the best, if not the best defense in the league in the Cleveland Browns. This game is huge, okay? I don't have the statistic in front of me, but I know DTR is a rookie, but the Cleveland Browns defense is that good. They are 7-3, and I genuinely think the Denver Broncos are going to win 9 football games this season, regardless of the Cleveland outcome. This is just a huge game, and they got to get a win, and I really think they will. The offense this season feels a lot more safe. And I mean that in a positive way. It feels a lot more methodical. And we've been saying it all offseason. We've been saying it all season. Coaching really matters. And Broncos fans are fully aware of what I'm talking about. They had to deal with Nathaniel Hackett last season, and now you've got Sean Payton. We always have to keep in mind Sean Payton-led teams always thrive. They always hit their peak in the month of November and December. They had to completely change every single thing about the Denver Broncos. Every single thing. So not only for this Cleveland game, but one thing that I really like, because I know the offensive line is a little bit shaky. Control the trenches, you can control the game. Now, Denver obviously is a couple of pieces away, and the good news is all that mattered this season was getting Russell Wilson back on track. Forget about the playoffs, forget about the future. Russell Wilson's contract has not even kicked in now. He either had no trade value or, people were calling him washed. He's back. Russell Wilson on the season, 69% completion percentage, 19 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. That's the best ratio in the league, and a passer rating of 104.3. So first and foremost, even though they're only 10 games into the season and there's still fat chunk left, and they could definitely make some noise, Russell Wilson's been fixed. Okay, and that was the most important part. So, just in general, real quick, watch out for the future of the Denver Broncos. I think they're a solid wide receiver and a star tight end away from being a legit huge threat on the offensive side. But Russell Wilson's back, all right? He's not making mistakes. He's only getting better. The Broncos are only getting better. He's not throwing interceptions. He's not turning the ball over. He's got really good decision making. And in general, he's just making plays. So Sean Payton deserves a lot of credit for getting Russell Wilson back on track, but I'm so glad Russ is back because, if you even were to go back and look at the last couple of games without Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson looked completely different. All right, so that was it. You had to fix Russ. You had to fix the culture. You pretty much had to fix everything. Now, I know their offense still isn't perfect. I know it's not, this high bolstering 400-yard, 30-plus points per game, but if we look at this 4-game win streak, they're young defense. They're a young, cheap, and hungry defense that's only going to get better as the season goes on, like we've been seeing, and next season and many seasons to come. Their defense has been stepping up. And the offense is making plays. They're scoring touchdowns when they need to. Shout out to Will Lutz because he's been huge for this team. 17 points given up to my Green Bay Packers. Only 9 to the Super Bowl champions in the Kansas City Chiefs. 22 to Josh Allen. Offensive coordinator ends up getting fired. And then 20 points against the Minnesota Vikings this past Sunday night. So one thing I really want to see, not only especially against this Cleveland Browns team, I want to see more Samaje Perine. All right. I think Javonte Williams is an absolute stud. And when I look at the Denver Broncos rushing attack, they've got dogs, man. I've got Javonte Williams, I've got Samaje Perine, and then I've got speedster, young playmaking threat in Jaleel McLaughlin. That's kind of a three-headed monster right there. You picked up Samaje Perine for a reason, but rushing attack, they're giving, they're going for over 100 a game. They're 14th, they're middle of the pack, but I think they're an above average rushing attack. So that's something that's going to be huge against Cleveland because their trenches are just great. And like we said, if you can control the trenches, you can control the game. I want to see more Samaje, especially in the receiving game. All right, Cortland Sutton has had a touchdown in 5 straight games. Jerry Jeudy's had a quiet season, but they have enough at the wide receiver position. Like I said, really would love a star tight end, or at least, a young rookie tight end, a guy like Sam Laporta on this team next season. But you got to deal with the cards you have right now. Samaje Perine against the Minnesota Vikings in the passing game was absolutely huge. He was money. 7 catches for 60 yards. Then we also saw Jaleel McLaughlin. He caught 5 catches, only had 14 yards. That's something to look for, all right? If the Denver Broncos can control the time of possession, if they can control the trenches, then they will win this football game less than 24 hours from now. And I love the second half, or the last third of the season that they have. You've got 2 road games after this, Houston and Chargers. Oh, actually 3. You played Detroit as well. But then I love the way their season ends. This win would be so huge. A team just in general, all of the BS that they dealt with last season, starting this year 1-5, just being 5-5 right now is utterly impressive. That's why we're talking about it. That's why everybody's talking about Russell Wilson and Sean Payton being back on track. Your final 3 games of the season, at home against the New England Patriots, at home against the Los Angeles Chargers, and on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders. Those are 3 very winnable football games. So tomorrow is a huge day for the Denver Broncos. I think it's going to be a nitty-gritty game, low scoring. You're going up against DTR. A win would be huge. Okay. Now, like I said, regardless of how this season ends, all I wanted to see and all I'm happy about is that Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, their culture and their team are back on track. So that's it for tonight, folks. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you guys want more Broncos videos, let me know down below. But give me a score prediction for tomorrow's game against the Cleveland Browns. And hopefully tomorrow night, we've got a victory recap video for you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next.